Hey everyone, welcome to Turkish Spotlight Secrets. All the intriguing details are packed into today's video, so settle in. Before we dive into the latest whirlwind, make sure you're subscribed and share this with a friend who follows every twist and turn. Thank you for being here. Now, let's get into it, because the industry is rumbling with a revelation that has everyone buzzing. A startling claim has burst onto the scene about the luminous Elçin and the man whose name has been intertwined with hers for years, Barış. The spark? A remark from actress Beril Pozam, who has long been seen in the same circles as Elçin. At a recent event, Beril seemed to drop a line that ignited the gossip mill in an instant. In front of microphones and flashes, she suggested that the romance everyone thought had ended might never have truly closed its doors. Her implication was crystal clear to anyone listening: that story didn't fade to black, it simply moved off stage. Almost immediately, whispers surfaced that Beril had been confiding to her inner circle for weeks. According to multiple tabloids, friends claimed she had hinted that Elçin and Barış had been treading carefully, choosing discretion over spectacle. Rumor has it Beril described them as intentional and measured, saying they'd grown cautious about being photographed shoulder to shoulder or letting the cameras catch an affectionate moment that might set the internet on fire. Not because the feelings vanished, but because they wanted to preserve what was between them rather than perform it. That sentiment, so bold and tantalizing, ricocheted across social platforms and fan forums. Supporters of Elçin rallied quickly, insisting that if she's happy, that's the only headline that matters. Others, more skeptical, wondered aloud whether the entire saga was a careful illusion designed to keep people guessing, to keep the narrative endlessly interesting. Within hours, timelines were full of speculation, commentary, and pointed debates about privacy, choice, and the price of fame. Where does Elçin stand in all this? Silent. Composed. Focused. While the noise swelled, she stayed the course. On her social feeds, every post has been anchored to work, glimpses from set, rehearsals, costume fittings, scripts waiting on a table, a coffee cup with a highlight pen resting beside it. Those who know her best say she has been calm and deliberate, refusing to let chatter define the pace of her days. One confidant even commented that she would prefer people talk about her craft rather than her heart. For her, the stage lights are meant to illuminate performance, not private life. Of course, Beril Pozam's words didn't quiet the tension, they deepened it. The idea that Elçin and Barış might have quietly resumed, if they ever truly paused, has been circulating for months in backrooms and after parties. Friends of friends claim they've spotted them at the same events more than once, slipping in without fuss and slipping out through different exits. A birthday gathering last month reportedly hosted both, and although cameras were everywhere, neither left any proof behind. No posed shots together, no careless reflections caught in a windowpane. Just murmurs and lingering glances, at least as the story goes. Then came the tidal wave. After Beril's remark took on a life of its own, social media lit up. Names trended across platforms as fans and critics alike tried to piece together what was rumor and what was real. Some users accused Beril of overstepping, arguing that a genuine friend would lock a secret away, not tease it in public. Others insisted the fuss wouldn't exist if there weren't embers still glowing. The divide was sharp, and every hour brought a new theory. Tabloids, predictably, feasted. Headlines shouted that Beril Pozam had stirred up a storm with a few carefully chosen words. For days, the coverage hardly shifted away from Elçin and, by extension, Barış. Strikingly, the attention wasn't because Elçin made a statement, she didn't, but because she didn't. Her quiet refusal to comment seemed to fuel the intrigue more than any confirmation could. Reports described that at the event where Beril first spoke, she fielded a direct question about what she knew of Elçin's personal life. Without giving details, she added fuel by indicating that people might be misreading silence as distance. One line in particular was repeated and paraphrased everywhere, the suggestion that a breakup wasn't a clean break, more a decision to vanish from the flashbulbs and the noise, to protect something precious from the relentless churn. As if on cue, commentators fell into two camps. Some praised Elçin Sengu for keeping her own boundaries intact, for refusing to turn her romantic history into a publicity engine. Others demanded clarity, asking why, if she and Barış's Arctic rekindled, they would hide it at all. The truth, of course, may be as simple as experience. Public relationships can become theater, and a pair as famously magnetic as Elçin and Barış has lived that reality before, on screens and in headlines. Their history has always captured attention. When the two were seen together after announcing an amicable parting, the public read meaning into every glance. Appearances at the same venues, a fleeting overlap at a gala, a delayed exit here, a missed question there. Carefully, almost artfully, they avoided feeding the beast. No grand statements. No denials meant to sound like admissions. Just two people doing what they do, working, creating, moving through rooms where cameras click and stories are born. Beril Pozam's latest comment seemed to take years of whispers and condense them. In its wake, the question wasn't merely whether they had reconnected. It was whether the connection had never truly severed. The narrative shifted from reunion to continuity, and that small distinction made all the difference. Now, the story many thought ended is being reread as a chapter marked by ellipses, not a period. Not long after, the chatter picked up again. Publications ran with fresh angles, tying together timelines of sightings, snippets of overheard conversation, and the evidence, or lack thereof, from public events. What made the rumor snowball was how plausibly it fit the personalities involved. Elçin Sengu has consistently kept her private world shielded, and Barış Arctic has never been one to stoke a spectacle for the sake of noise. Together, that restraint feels like a strategy born of experience. As the spotlight swung back toward Elçin, she maintained her stance. Posts from set, a photo of a clapboard, a quiet moment in a dressing room, a snapshot of a script dotted with annotations, each update an anchor back to the work. Every day without a personal statement heightened the mystery, and every day the attention grew. Fans chimed in to say her happiness matters most, period. Others speculated that the silence was its own message, a way of saying that a relationship can exist without being served up for public consumption. Insiders say the relationship storyline had been a favorite of the rumor mill long before this week. The last time they were thought to have stepped back, the phrase used was amicable. No drama, no fiery breakup, just a mature decision shaped by the pressures surrounding them. And yet, that very maturity, grace in closing a chapter, made the occasional shared air hard to categorize afterward. Did they stay friends? Did they discover something unresolved? Did they simply decide that if there was going to be a second act, it would be hidden from the glare? According to the whispers that followed Beril's comments, if there is an answer, it's the last one. The suggestion is that the bond never truly broke, it simply went underground. That the motion we couldn't see didn't mean the story stopped moving, only that it shifted into a place where cameras can't so easily intrude. One person close to the situation was quoted as saying that Elçin Sengu is at a point where she prioritizes craft and calm above clamor, and that any love in her life must live in that same protected space. The moment that really threw petrol on the fire came at a reception, where a journalist pressed Beril Pozam with a pointed question. Was there someone new for Elçin? Beril's reply, as recounted by those present, sidestepped names and labels. She reportedly said that Elçin is content, that what people assume is new may be a misunderstanding of what never faded, and that keeping things away from flashing lights is not deception, but defense. Within minutes, the remark ricocheted across timelines. Interpretation multiplied. Some took it as confirmation that Elçin is still intertwined with Barış Arctic. Others scolded Beril, saying a friend should say less, not more. The fog didn't lift after that, it thickened. Reports emerged of a quiet night at a friend's home last month where both Elçin Sengu and Barış Arctic were said to be present, comfortable and animated, spending much of the evening in easy conversation. No cameras. No orchestrated tableaus. Just a small room, few people, and the effortless familiarity of two artists who know each other's rhythms. A close friend confided to a columnist that they remain close and that the lessons of the past have given them a renewed respect for privacy. If there is a thesis behind every whispered update, it's this: they've learned. Years of being watched can teach even the most open-hearted to close a few doors. That doesn't mean the story isn't rich, only that it's no longer up for auction. And when love intersects with legacy, reputations, and careers as illustrious as theirs, the impulse to protect becomes not just understandable, but inevitable. Meanwhile, the public keeps examining breadcrumbs. The question appears again and again: if there's joy, why hide it? But this isn't the red carpet, it's real life. Hidden doesn't have to mean ashamed. It can mean cherished. It can mean tended to without an audience. It can mean keeping the sweetest parts untouched by commentary and algorithms. In that light, Beril Pozam's controversial words read less like exposure and more like a reminder: not every scene belongs on the screen. Still, the current refuses to slow. Analysts line up timelines alongside premieres and interviews, constructing elaborate diagrams of what could be unfolding behind the curtain. Sightings at the same cultural events. Departures a few minutes apart. A shared laugh when their paths cross at a gala, observed by a dozen eyes and retold by 1,000 mouths. Yet neither Elçin nor Barış has offered a single line to punctuate the guessing. The result is a story that breathes on its own, fed by fascination and restraint. If we trace the arc from the beginning of this latest wave to now, it is striking how little on-the-record commentary exists from the two people at the center. That silence has become the defining feature of the saga, and perhaps the point. For all the heat that Beril Pozam's suggestion created, the lead roles have refused to break character. They are playing it their way, and their way seems to be: let the work speak, let the rest live where cameras cannot follow. As for what comes next, it is anyone's guess. Maybe there will be a day when a candid photo surfaces, and the story will be told by a simple gesture, a hand clasped in a crowd, a glance that says more than any statement. Or maybe this will remain the most compelling kind of modern romance, one that everyone talks about, and yet no one truly sees. Until then, the hum continues. The names keep trending. The debates keep spinning. And every quiet post from set reads like a reminder that some spotlights are chosen, while others are declined. We'll be watching how this plays out with the same care as always. If there's one certainty here, it's that both Elçin and Barış command attention without asking for it. Their presence together, even as a rumor, can fill a room. Their discipline in guarding what matters suggests a story still unfolding, whether in whispers, in private rooms, or in the silent spaces between scenes. And if Beril Pozam's spark has done anything, it's revealed just how ready the world is for another chapter, even if the authors prefer to write in ink that only they can see. That's where we'll leave it for now. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more carefully sourced, emotionally charged storytelling about the stars you love, make sure you're subscribed to Turkish Spotlight Secrets and share this video with someone who has been following every step of this saga. Until next time, keep your eyes on the craft, trust your instincts about the rest, and remember, in this world, the most irresistible stories are often the ones just out of frame.